Hi, I'm Bill,
And I'm Terry.
and welcome to our kitchen table. What are we going over this week?
This week we're going to go over brush motors.
Alright. And we're going to go over the different sizes. We're going to go over the advantages to them. And we don't have any news this week, do we?
No, we do not.
Alright, so let's just jump into it. Well, let's start with that little truck right there.
Alrighty.
So this is a little teeny truck. It's a little bigger. This is bigger than that. And they all just use different size motors. All the same inside and everything. I'm going to open one of these up and show you. But this is the smallest one I have around. Right?
Yes.
That's smaller. This has I believe it's a 380 size motor in it. And we're going to explain that in a minute. This one has either a 380 or 390 size motor in it. And this one has a 550 motor in it. 540, 550 motor. Axial runs a 540 can in theirs, and most of them are 540 or 550. And what's that mean? A couple examples here. This one says right on it. It says right on it, 540, and this one here is a 550. Just about the same diameter, but you have a longer can, is that much longer. So that gives you that much more magnet, that gives you that much more armature inside of here, and makes it a little more powerful. That's the advantage to it. But you can't always fit the 550 into a place where a 540 motor goes. So you gotta know what you're buying when you're buying a motor. Let's show them that one's a 390. That's a 390 motor. And I didn't take them all out, this is brand new. But this one's shorter than the 390 motor. And I think the old ones of these are the 1.9s come with a 380 size motor in it. And that again is just the can size, that's all that means. Then there's turns, and that's what we're going to get to now. So let's open up a motor and look at the turns.
Alright.
So we opened up one of these motors, we took, because it's popular, the axial motor. And this is a 550 can. I actually looked at the red cat, it's a 550 in it. So that means it's a little longer version. And you have two types of brush motors. You have a fixed end bell, which is what comes in every RTR I see that you buy ready to run. And that just means that this is your end bell. We took this one apart. It's a pain in the butt to do. But we already did this. And that's just clamped on there. This is an adjustable end bell motor. And what that means is you can take these screws out and advance or retard the timing on it. Make it go faster. You can actually plug a battery to it. Go, you can hear it just what it does to it. You've seen me do that before in the store. And these are also rebuildable, as with these aren't. But these cost more money generally. And we'll go over this in a minute. So you got your, this is the end bell, it comes off. And all these come with bushings inside of them. You're not gonna, I don't think any ready to run comes with bearings in it, or any of these fixed ones come with bearings in it. I haven't seen them anyways. And then inside of that, this one uses a plastic ring. What that does is hold the brushes. You can see this one's pretty worn. And that rides on this. This is your commutator. And eventually, this is like a light bulb, they're going to burn out, they're going to use up, they're going to sand off. And the more voltage you put into them, the quicker that's going to burn. You know that little sparks you see when you run your cars or trucks? That's just the brushes wearing off. But the general consensus is, especially in the crawlers, they're $15, who cares? They'll last quite a while, even if you run a 3S battery. It doesn't matter. But people get into it, and it does matter to some people. Because everyone buys the brushless motors, and you can do a lot with a brush motor and a decent speed controller, if you know what you're looking for. And inside of this is a couple magnets. So now we're down to the steel can, and you got a bushing on the bottom and a bushing on the top. This is your armature, and they call it a commutator that your brushes ride on. And when you hear about turns, see all these little wires around each of these? That's how many times they took the wire and wrapped it around each one of these lugs. And the higher the turn, the more power you have, the less speed. So you have to know what you're looking for. This one happens to be a 27 turn. That means each of these has 27 wraps around it. And some are hand, the expensive ones are hand wound, and I'm not sure what the advantage is, honestly. I never looked into it, but there must be because people do them and they like the motors. You can probably pick your copper that way too, and your wires better. And this one I can tell right away. See that?
Yes.
Our cameras suck, but it's supposed to be nice shiny gold, and they have like a clear coat on them almost. And when that burns off is when your motor's done. And this one's all black.
I do.
This one started to burn, got all black, probably lost half its power. The brushes were okay, that wasn't the issue. And it's time to replace your motor. When you can smell it too, like a little bit on that. You can tell. And you start to lose your power and stuff. Either these are worn or you burnt your motor inside. But that's what's inside your motor, and that's a general breakdown of any motor. Some are longer, some are shorter. And this is only the brush motor, but we're going to do brushless another day. Put your 8 magnets inside. No, I can't do that. Like that. And your brushes. Should take apart that motor too. Like that, and here's your 2 leads that come out to your power. And that's all that's in, and that'll spin inside. The stronger the magnets, the better it is. I used to have a magnet zapper actually, back in the 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it made your magnet stronger. You just put it in there and zzz.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So that's your RTR motor that comes with everything that's brushed. That's what it's going to be basically inside. This one actually has some fins on it for fans. Not all of them do. No, this one doesn't. It's an older Traxxas one. This doesn't have anything. New one does though. The newer ones do. And this is a 12-turn Titan from a Traxxas Slash or Stampede. 12 turns is pretty low turns. That means it's pretty fast. And then with the larger can, so that's why it has so much torque. There's that much more area in there. Makes a difference. So that's your basic RTR. Let me take this apart and we'll show you what's inside the rebuildable kind that costs a little bit more money. Like this one's a Trinity, you see Tekin. We had some in the hobby shop that were cheap that we got online, but they don't sell them anymore because they're probably losing a lot of money. We'll take this apart and show you what's inside these. All I had to do actually was take out these 2 little screws. I'll show you there's 2 springs that hold the brushes in this one. This one's kind of stuck on here. These little springs. And you can buy these in different tension too, because the harder your springs push and your brushes wear, matters on how your motor performs. And they just come right out. And these are replaceable. That's why these are rebuildable. Now they even have them with slots in them. I don't know, they're not very popular where you get them. If you look around you can find them. And that's the end bell from a rebuildable kind. Versus a fixed one. When these brushes are gone, they're gone. You're not going to fix it. Now this is a cheaper one apparently because it has bushings in it still. Usually they have ball bearings on the better ones. Alright, got a couple shims. They all have shims, those have shims too. This one looks a little burnt too. Yep.
Yeah.
These are
Looks
motors we had in the box,
real
obviously for a reason. So these are all burnt too. Someone overtaxed this. How many turns this is? I'm not tell you. Looks to be about 20 turn too. And the same exact thing, basically, inside the magnets, has this little plate on it. And that's how you adjust this. 2 little screws, and that's your timing. You adjust it like that. But the big advantage is you can put new brushes in them. They'll last you forever if you treat them right. And you can clean your commutator off, and they actually make little brushes that go inside to clean these. And it looks like someone probably did. If you look how dark that one is, that one's nice and shiny. Someone probably took care of this motor at one point. It's an older Trinity motor. And that's what the big difference is. Did I cover everything?
I think so.
Now, if you get a, say one of those Hobby Wing speed controllers for $35 and a decent adjustable motor, you can make them go pretty fast without having to spend the money on the brushless and still have plenty of power because it's a cord motor like that. Because these put out a lot of torque. They're not as efficient as your brushless ones, but especially for rock crawling, well, efficiency isn't really the packs last a long time. The higher the turns, the longer your battery will last you generally. The smaller the turns, the more speed you get, your battery won't last as long. And for a crawler, you want to start out from 20 to 35. Depends on the
That's
vehicle.
popular anyways.
What do you sell mostly?
35.
Yeah, 35 is pretty popular. 27 is popular. But if you get a 20 turn adjustable end belt one, you can probably get some pretty good performance out of it. If you like the speed in your crawler too. Even cars, you got a Associated Losi car. If you can find a brush motor pretty cheap with a low turn adjustable end belt, that thing will fly. No problem. That's all we used to have back in the day. This was an expensive motor back in the day. Now it's nothing because of brushes. That's about it, I think. Just want to show you guys the inside. And that's the different can sizes. So when you're looking online, know what you're buying, and that's what the turns mean. And the higher the turns, the more power. The lower the turns, the more speed. That's just the general rule.
Alright.
And they're 3S, they handle pretty well. A lot of guys run 3Ss with these. And they handle no problem.
Most of them did.
You can tell when you're overtaxing your motor. It's boggy and it doesn't want to go, especially a brush motor. You got to change your gearing or change the turns of your motor. Or turn it down if it's adjustable end belt. Get less RPMs out of it. And that's it.
I learned a little bit today.
Oh, that's good. That's it. So that's it, and see you next week, or got something?
Yes, sir. No.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
Thank you guys.